breaking news. Vince McMahon is officially not dead.
No, I'm not believing it.
Boy, we were having a lot of fun with the whole Vince McMahon is dead thing, with him blowing himself up in his limo or whatever, someone blowing him up in his limo. Sam wanted to believe, and
he really did.
And it was just done very badly.
Yeah. Everyone knew he was alive. It was a gag. They had the FBI at first. They were saying the FBI was investigating, and then I guess the FBI got mad, so they had to go with the FIC, the Federal Investigation
Center, right.
And they had some investigator that was always on the show, and he would do his interviews during Raw or SmackDown, not in his station house. And Sam was believing it. He wanted to believe that Vince was alive. I'm sure he's relieved today that Vince is alive, but it's bittersweet for Sam because Chris Benoit is dead.
And they're starting to say it's a double murder-suicide, that he shot his own son.
I don't think he shot him.
I thought he did.
Oh, I thought it was... Now they're saying it's not a shooting? That's what I read overnight.
Well, the last thing I heard this morning driving in was there was no gunshot wounds or no knife wounds. So they're investigating how they died.
Tell me, he strangled them.
He may have.
That's a very personal way to kill somebody.
Yeah.
You know, they did say that when the details of this case come out, people are going to be like, whoa.
That's,
This is a little different than the typical double murder-suicide. So
I don't believe it.
So there was no gun used?
No, that's what I heard this morning on Twins.
Really?
What did he strangle? I bet he strangled them and then hung himself. Sam, do you know? I mean, that's an awful way, especially your own son.
I hope he didn't use some hacky wrestling move to take out his family.
Oh.
Yeah. He figure four leg locked them. That's an awful way to kill your son, man.
So, what do we got, Sam?
Sam, now, what about Vince being alive?
Well,
admit it, he's alive.
Wait and see what happens.
Wait and see what happens.
You know, we know Vince just a little bit, and I'm sure he's extremely bummed.
Yeah.
And his thoughts and prayers go out to the,
thoughts and prayers
to, Chris's remaining family and all that. But there's also part of Vince going, you wrecked my storyline.
We had a great bit going, and you ruined it. You ruined it.
What happened was Vince made an appearance on live TV last night.
Yeah.
Of course, if he didn't, all hell would break loose.
What an ass he'd look like.
No kidding.
Keeping the dead Vince bit going when a family has been killed.
Yeah, the dead Vince bit was going on for about a month, and he was like, oh, my God.
And it was working. It was getting a lot of talk. It was getting a lot of heat.
I was talking about wrestling for the first time in like 4 years.
We hadn't talked about wrestling in a long time. And then this storyline was so bizarre and funny and out there that it was kind of fun to play back and forth. And Sam obviously believed that Vince had been tragically killed in that limo explosion, but nothing at all brought any facts of that nature to the table. It was just a goof. But now, Sam, you saw Vince live last night. It couldn't have been pre-taped because he was talking about Chris Benoit's death, which has just happened. So it wasn't like he wasn't, you taped it before his death somehow. He talked about his character, Mr. McMahon, being killed before addressing the fact that Chris Benoit was actually dead. Any comments on this and bringing up what you had believed and talked about for about a month now? What are your feelings about this?
What's happened? Go ahead.
I'm going to reserve judgment.
Yeah.
On what's going on with Mr. McMahon until next week.
Do you?
What?
How do you reserve judgment? It's over.
Yeah.
He's dead. He's not dead.
Here's Vince McMahon from last night in an empty arena. By the way.
Yes, it was empty. Just him and the mic in the ring.
Wow.
Good evening. Tonight, this arena here in Corpus Christi, Texas, was to have been filled to capacity with enthusiastic WWE fans. Tonight's storyline was to have been the alleged demise of my character, Mr. McMahon.
Alleged demise.
However, In reality, WWE superstar Chris Benoit, his wife Nancy, and their son Daniel are dead.
Jeez.
Their bodies were discovered this afternoon in their new suburban Atlanta home. The authorities are undergoing an investigation. We here in the WWE can only offer our condolences to the extended family of Chris Benoit.
And there's a lot of wrestlers that died.
He sounds really old.
Yeah, what's with his voice? That happened. Something was going on with his voice. He might have been a little choked up.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
Were they friends? I mean, I guess they were, right?
Yeah, he seemed choked up when he was...
Oh, yeah.
Is the FIC checking into this, or is it actually the FBI or local authorities? Or is it, what was his name, the investigator?
Daniel Beck.
Daniel Beck. Is Daniel Beck from the FIC going to be questioning wrestlers?
No, Daniel Beck is back in his cubicle doing, working on marketing ideas.
I think Daniel Beck
sales pitches. He's back behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I think the FBI said, all right, we'll take it from here, guys. Thank you.
He's back in accounting at the WWE building.
Exactly.
Sam, are you thinking, though, Sam is trying to, are you thinking that they may have done something? It's like when they mash up a Bush speech and they make it into a U2 song, where they take a bunch of different clips and they kind of make it into something like that. Are you saying that this is some sort of a creation of computer people?
It didn't sound like Vince.
Well, he did sound different. I mean, basically, you're saying that this is an old clip of Vince that they used and dubbed over words? I mean...
I'm just saying you never know what's going to happen.
Oh, shut up. It's over. You don't need to keep this storyline going. No problem. We'll come up with some new ones. Get out of here.
What will Vince say?
Get out of here. Your bit got ruined. You had a good bit going.
You had a great bit, a lot of visibility. Every week you're on.
Getting airtime.
Oh,
it's over.
You got to be bumming.
It's over. We'll find something else for you. Here's the second half of Vince's announcement last night.
And the only other thing we can do at this moment is tonight pay tribute to Chris Benoit. We'll offer you some of the most memorable moments in Chris's professional life. And you'll hear tonight comments from his peers, those here, his fellow performers, those here who loved Chris and admired him so much. So tonight will be a 3-hour tribute to one of the greatest WWE superstars of all time. Tonight will be a tribute to Chris Benoit.
Yeah, he was kind of getting a little misty-eyed.
Oh, yeah, he's been with the organization for a while now, so...
Vince has seen a lot of doom and gloom with his peeps between the steroids these guys have taken that have ravaged their bodies and suicides.
Have there been other suicides?
Oh, my God, there's so many wrestlers that have died. Someone turned me on to a website. I don't have the address right now, but it lists all the wrestlers that have died
wrestlers
in the last 10 years. It's mind-boggling.
Wow.
It's mind-boggling, so...
A lot of them just get their bodies to a point where they just can't hold up with the steroids and everything. They wind up getting tumors. Lyle Alzado tumors.
Did we get anybody from WWE today? Is there anybody who's,
Yeah, right.
I don't think anybody wants to really talk about this on
we can
this
try,
show.
But I don't think anyone's talking today.
They'll think we're going to have fun with it.
Yeah, no.
All right, we're going to take a break and continue with other things. Lots to do today. It's the Opie Anthony Show. We teased the Chris Benoit thing. This Benoit thing is getting just out of hand.
Well, who pretty much guessed what happened?
Huh?
Who guessed what happened?
We got
Jimmy.
Yes.
Yeah, Jimmy did.
Yeah.
And we got info yesterday that turned out to be really accurate. That was released later in the day.
Yeah.
We got the DA talking here. It's twisted. He had a very, very busy weekend.
Is it a real DA or is it an employee of the WWF from the FIC? See, because I don't know what's real or fake anymore. Because Vince McMahon, as you remember, about a month ago, not even a month ago, was blown up horribly in his limousine and presumed dead. It broke up our own Sam. He was very upset. They brought in an investigator from the FIC, the Federal Investigation Center. I just keep wanting to say commission or something. Center. Because the FBI complained and said not to use their name in this bit. and Vince was presumed dead. They did a memorial for him and everything, and then Chris Benoit apparently gets killed. At this time, they don't know how he did it. At the time, Vince came out. But Vince then is alive and comes out in the ring.
Well, it wrecked the whole storyline. You can't go with the Vince is dead storyline if one of your wrestlers really kills himself after killing his whole family.
No, kind of takes away from the bigness.
And they did a memorial to Chris Benoit on Monday because they didn't really know the details yet. So they spent 3 hours looking back at his career, thinking just something went horribly wrong in his house in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Now the details are coming out, and now the WWE is pretty much pulling out the hose.
Oh, that's it. Spray it down. Hose it off.
Hose it down and move on and make believe he never existed.
Sam, what have you noticed different on the WWE website?
Well, on Monday, they probably found out around 4 or 5 p.m. on Monday that he was dead, and so the website was all Chris Benoit stuff. You know, see old videos, pictures, all his best stuff.
Buy his merchandise.
Yeah.
Usually when someone dies, the merchandise goes way up for a while.
Yeah.
So why not take advantage of that a little bit?
Sure.
But then yesterday, once the news started coming out and the details started coming out, everything was pulled off the website except for the news story.
Yeah.
So just the WWE press releases were there. But other than that, there was no Chris Benoit stuff. All his merchandise was pulled. I was reading that at a bunch of toy stores, they were actually pulling Chris Benoit figures off the shelves.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This guy was a bum. They shouldn't tribute him. He was just
I guess they wanted to assume that perhaps carbon monoxide poisoning, anything. It could have been anything. But then when the details started coming out,
well,
they're
leaning toward road rage, and that's got everyone.
Road rage.
What'd I say?
Road rage.
Oh my God!
Like his wife was walking down the hall too slow, and he beeped, and she wouldn't move over.
Got to get to the bathroom. There's a backup.
I'm still thinking of the golf cart T that pulled me over with other golf carts. I had the road rage yesterday, but yes, roid rage, and now people are like up in arms about that, saying, But I mean, look at the details. What else could it be?
Is that a quote from someone? Unquote.
Well, we got some audio from the press conference. This is getting really twisted.
Do you find any illegal substances, any steroids, any drugs that are of concern, any illegal substance?
There were a lot of prescription medication that he had received from doctors with what we believe to be at this time legal prescriptions.
What type of prescriptions?
That I'll have to get a full list and maybe be able to disclose later. Right now, I'm not going to be able to give you that full list of that.
They got the prescription drug.
Yeah, they were anabolic steroids.
Well, I was reading an article today that he felt like his kid was too small for his age.
Yeah.
And he was injecting growth hormones into his 7-year-old. This story is getting sick.
Wow.
What an ass this
I
guy
didn't hear
was.
that.
And I used to call Chris Benoit the world's tallest dwarf. He kind of had a dwarf-like look to him.
Dwarfy look.
Even though they're saying he was 5'10". I don't think he was 5'10". I think they upped his height. And I guess they said his kid looked dwarf-like. And this bothered Chris Benoit, according to this article I read this morning, and he was injecting growth hormones into his 7-year-old to try to get him to grow because he was undersized for his age.
That's screwy.
That's a good way to treat your son.
Because they found needle marks in the kid, by the way. That's how.
The boy's body was in his bed, which is in an upstairs bedroom. The female's body was found in what looked to me to be a family room that was also upstairs. Chris's body was in the basement in a weight room.
How much time elapsed between the murder of the wife and son, approximately, do you know?
From what we're gathering from the autopsy, it's my understanding that the wife died sometime on Friday, that the son died probably Saturday morning, and that Chris Benoit died later on Saturday.
Oh, my God. So he kills the wife first, and then the kid's still in the house?
Overnight.
How twisted is that?
Probably just close the door and make sure the kid stayed out, and then.
You know anything about 7-year-olds? All they want to do is find their mommy, and mommy's dead in the house.
They did that Friday night. He probably killed the kids Saturday morning, before he realized.
Calling all the sending text messages to all the UFC guys Friday.
Yeah.
Weird messages.
They were getting weird text messages
saying,
from him.
what were the text? He was explaining where his attack dogs were, because I guess he had attack dogs, and I guess they knew this. And then parts of his
address.
He gave out his address a lot. My physical address is blank, blank, blank. That was a text message. The dogs are in the enclosed pool area.
So
garage
knew.
side door is open.
He knew he was going for it at that point.
Here's my physical address. Here's my address. Here's my physical address. Over and over again in text messages.
He's He killed the wife. I don't know why. I'm probably in a fit of rage. They had been divorced and bad. You knew it was some kind of domestic, like she was going to leave. It's always one of those.
She had a restraining order back in 2003.
Of course.
And then 3 months later, she dropped all those charges that were pending or whatever.
He's a violent prick, this guy.
There was blood on her head. There was a massive struggle, and he choked her out or strangled her.
And
then
did he use the figure 4, or was it a real naked choke?
Yesterday.
Probably some kind of wrestling move,
like a triangle.
And the son, he probably they said he smothered the son, which is it's like because that's more of like a shame thing. Like strangling is so vicious and angry, man. That's like smothering. Like
where's E-Rock getting his info from? E-Rock.
That was in the paper today.
Her
too.
hands and feet were tied up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the son was suffocated with a pillow.
Yep. Yeah, that's all in the paper.
I wonder if he grabbed the kid while he was sleeping. He might have just said,
that's wake
kid was
up,
probably
though.
asleep. Of course he would. You don't sleep through that. But, I mean, the kid was probably sleeping. He probably put the pillow over his face.
The kid was sleeping, they're saying, early Saturday morning. All right, well, here's more audio from the DA.
I will say this additional information. There was a Bible placed at beside the body of each of the victims, and I thought that was somewhat bizarre.
Were there any signs of struggle from the son or the wife?
No, I will tell you that the wife was bound on her feet, and I think also on her wrists. There was some blood under her head. As far as I know, those were the only signs of a struggle. They were both clothed. She was wrapped in a towel, I think, but wearing clothes underneath.
Man, he had a busy weekend.
Oof.
He had a busy weekend.
That is just...
So he strangles the wife, ties her up, strangles her. Then you got the kid being smothered, and then he hangs himself in the weight room using the weights.
Yeah.
When did he hang himself?
You're familiar with weights that are attached to a pulley? It was the cord on the weights.
So, oh my God, how did he do that?
Because you wrap that cord around your neck and you put all the weight on it. Probably just...
Yeah, he's probably like had to pull the pin out and put it down a little further because his big heavy neck. Yeah, that big fat neck. And it's like, no, the weights are gone. All right, let me put a little more weight.
He had to kneel, though, I'm sure, and let it just kill him.
Yeah, because you can't stand up. It's not that tall. So you just kneel down.
Or he lifted it somehow and held it and then tied it around his neck and let it go.
Oh, let her rip?
Yeah, I'm guessing. I just hit myself in the helmet doing that. Ow.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Do you know if his wife ever sought protection from him anyway during domestic abuse?
I have not seen the documents. I'm told that perhaps in 2003 a temporary protective order was sought, and I believe in the Fayette Superior Court, and later dismissed.
What's a TPO typically sought for?
I don't know. Typically they're sought for some form of domestic violence, but not always. Not always.
Wow, I hope we get to find out why he decided on that.
Nah, you never find out.
You don't think you'll find out?
He's dead.
Like 3 years from now, they'll do an A&E story. You'll find out all the...
A&E true Hollywood stories.
It could have just been an argument where, like, we've all been mad enough to murder somebody, and when you're like, that's strong, man. He might have been on that roid rage. All of a sudden, you're choking your wife, and she's dead. Then you're like, all right, now what?
She's dead.
He tied her up.
Why would he tie her up?
Maybe she said she was going to leave.
You can't, if roid rage, after a couple minutes, you'll calm down. You're not going to tie her up and then, scream at her and then choke her.
Maybe he was trying to make it look like a break-in. Maybe he killed her, panicked, and said, all right, this could look like a break-in. I could say somehow try to figure out a way to make it look like she was killed during a home burglary, and then realized I can't do
then
it.
He looked at the TV, and A&E's Investigators was on, and he's like, no, I'll never get away with this.
Yeah, and then killed his son because this kid would have no mother.
Shows.
And the father would be in jail forever, and then of course to kill him.
Well, didn't he have another wife from? He has other kids and another wife.
Yeah.
He was married before. How lucky is she?
Yeah.
She's like,
got away from that guy.
He knew a lot of the guys personally that died too in recent years. So we went on TMZ.com. They have a whole montage of wrestlers that have died just in the last up to 10 years.
Yeah,
it's an unbelievable montage. You can't believe it. Everyone from Bam Bam Bigelow to the Boss Man to Elizabeth, who used to hang out with Randy Savage.
I didn't know that the Boss Man.
Huh?
Elizabeth
died of pills and alcohol.
I didn't know I remember her, and I don't even watch that stupid sport.
Well, I showed Ant because Anthony doesn't watch a lot of wrestling, but he knew just about every one of them too.
The Big Boss Man was huge back in the day.
Right.
The Big Boss Man. He'd come out and kick some ass with his nightstick.
Here it is. You got, Chris Benoit. Owen Hart, of course, died during a match. Eddie Guerrero, ravishing Rick Rude is dead.
Yokozuna.
Elizabeth is dead. The Big Boss Man, Earthquake, Dino Bravo, Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, Mr.
Bam Bam
Perfect.
Bigelow. The Junkyard Dog died in a car accident. They have Andre on there, but he was not expected to live too long.
No.
He was a massive human being.
One of the Road Warrior guys, Hawk.
Right. And then finally, I never heard of the last one. Sensational Sherry also dead. It's on TMZ.com. Dead wrestlers.
Oh, man. Junkyard Dog.
So Vince McMahon had to change his tune because on Monday he was kind of praising Chris Benoit's career, and they did a whole memorial to him, a whole 3-hour special, right, Sam?
Yeah.
And then these details are coming out, and then Vince is like, whoa, we got to distance ourselves from this guy.
Yep.
So he went on TV last night and had this statement?
Yeah, he did. This one was a pre-taped one. It wasn't in the ring, but he put it on right before ECW came on last night.
This guy's an ass.
I hit the button at the exact same time, and I really thought Vince
really?
said that, and I'm like, wow.
I love the Vince.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm somber.
Last night on Monday Night Raw, the WWE presented a special tribute show, recognizing the career of Chris Benoit. However, now some 26 hours later, the facts of this horrific tragedy are now apparent. Therefore, other than my comments, there will be no mention of Mr. Benoit's name tonight. On the contrary, tonight's show will be dedicated to everyone who has been affected by this terrible incident. This evening marks the first step of the healing process. Tonight, WWE performers will do what they do better than anyone else in the world. Entertain you.
I thought he was going to say tonight the WWE performers will do what they do better than anyone else in the world. Steroids.
Die.
That was a good way to handle it, though.
Yeah.
Come out and acknowledge it like, all right, look, 26 hours. I like that.
Yeah, Vince ain't afraid of coming out and laying it out there like that.
But like, yeah, this guy killed his wife and his son. We didn't now address it. I like that,
Wish we could have taken away the tribute.
Yeah.
We look like asses. You made me look like an ass.
Phil Mushnick's going to have a field day with this.
Oh, boy.
God, does Phil Mushnick.
The mush.
Oh, the mush hates Vince.
Yeah, but I bet...
Plays right into everything Mr. Mushnick says about Vince.
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
Steroids and blah, blah,
Phil
blah.
Phil doesn't like Vince because Vince is an alpha male, and Mushnick, you can't tell where his neck ends. He's he's a nothing writer who probably had bigger dreams, and he's a curmudgeon.
Beat up in school by people like Vince.
He's a douche.
Yeah.
Here's the bullet points or the headlines on Chris Benoit.
Does this go under fun facts or what?
Wow, this is just twisted news Thursday. Cops think Benoit may have used a chokehold, to kill his retarded son.
Oh.
I don't think his son was retarded. I think his son was a little slow.
Now he had like an autism thing.
Yeah, an autism thing.
Yeah, he had some kind of a growth problem.
Fragile, what's it called? Fragile X or something?
Yes, Fragile X.
I've never heard of Fragile X, but supposedly you kind of
new super villain.
You kind of look like a normal kid, but then when you hit puberty, it's when it kicks in.
Yeah. And I don't know if they keep saying retarded in the paper. And that it would have gotten worse. But it's a weird moment I'm watching as they continue. And again, this is part of the autism maybe. They keep showing the father hugging him in the ring after he won. And if you watch it, the kid's arms are out almost like, you put your hands up. This is a stick up.
Yeah.
His hands are out like that. He's not hugging his dad back, which could have just been he was nervous. That to me seemed like an autistic thing though, like not hugging back, which I could just not know what I'm talking about.
And
because you're Dr. Jim.
Yes.
And Benoit,
Dr. Jim Thursday.
Benoit and his wife were fighting in recent months because she wanted him to be home more, to
spend a little more time with the kid,
help raise the kid, because obviously the kid has some problems and she needed help. And she really wanted him to get off the road a little bit and start spending more time at home to help her, because it was, I guess, a real problem.
But he didn't tell his friends even about that.
No.
A lot of people didn't know. And I'm wondering, was he ashamed of his son?
Which goes to show you, I think, yeah.
Or was he trying just to protect him?
I think that
this guy doesn't seem like the type of guy, based on his recent actions, of somebody that might.
My personal opinion, I think he was
be like that. Yeah, I think he was a little ashamed.
And Vince lost $20 million yesterday as shareholders sell their WWE stock like crazy. 4 times the amount of activity on that stock yesterday. And they said
it's a good buy opportunity.
They're saying that he lost about $20 million yesterday. There's rumors that there's going to be another steroid controversy,
big scandal
with his company. And obviously, being family entertainment and having this just horrific family tragedy happen doesn't help your company.
Well, it was bad enough they had that big steroid thing happen in WWF, when it was WWF, and that was pretty controversial. A lot of the wrestlers were saying that a lot of them did steroids, and a lot of the deaths that happened at a young age for these guys were steroid related. But like you brought up, this is something a little different. This is some guy killing his family.
Well, I'm saying in the office, when you get one of these wrestlers dying in some hotel in the middle of nowhere, it's obviously a tragedy. It's sad and all that, but this is so much different, man. He spent the whole weekend killing his wife, his son, and then did you hear how he killed himself? Where he wrapped a cord around his neck from one of his weight machines. I'm thinking it's the pull down, by the way. We're trying to figure it out. And then he released 240 pounds to hang himself.
Yeah, just let go.
He let go on 240 pounds.
Clang.
Yeah, the weight goes clang and your neck goes
snap.
Goodbye.
There's a lot of muscle on that neck.
240 pounds was released using one of his weight machines.
They said he
had in his home.
He might have put his son in a chokehold, a sleeper hold. I'm guessing he put it in a sleeper hold first.
Yeah, because there's no marks on his son's neck like he was strangled, so they're thinking,
that was a weird.
The chokehold.
I guarantee you he killed his son just because he freaked out and killed his wife and realized what's going to happen to this kid now. I'm going to jail.
He's got issues,
This kid's finished,
And then the WWE recently, kind of gave him a demotion.
Yep.
Wanted him to be more of a coaching type wrestler, where they don't do as much action. They get in the ring.
Agree.
Huh?
Although Sam doesn't agree with that.
Sam?
You don't agree with that, Sam?
Yeah, I don't know if that's true, because they just moved him over to their ECW branch, and they were going to put the belt on him, I would assume, because the guy who subbed in for him, he had an ECW title match at the pay-per-view he didn't show up for, and the guy who subbed in for him, they put the belt on him instead. So I would assume they were going to put the belt on Benoit, at least for a little while.
No, that's maybe, but maybe behind the scenes, the real stuff they're saying is maybe they really did demote him and tell him, look, you got 6 months. Maybe it was that.
Could have been.
But they seem to have demoted him, which would have made him freak out, I'm sure, even more.
Yeah.
To hear that you're not going to be... he was 40 years old. It doesn't seem crazy that they're going to knock him down a little bit.
There's a lot of 40-year-olds doing the wrestling thing.
Yeah.
The Undertaker, how old is he, man?
He's right up there. He's got to be 40.
Oh, he's way past 40.
Something.
Has to be.
That guy years ago.
And then I'm sick of hearing about the steroids. I don't care if people do steroids. Why are we so... Who cares?
Well, I think because perhaps if it drives you to kill your family...
Then stop with alcohol. No one's taking steroids and barreling into to children. I don't care if athletes take steroids and hit a ball farther, or they throw each other. I could care less.
Yeah, I don't care either, because I don't know these people. I don't know these people personally, so I don't care. I want to see 600-foot homers. I've changed my tune on the whole steroid thing in baseball. Yeah, I want to see 600-foot homers. I want to see homers like leave the ballpark like Mickey Mantle did back in the day. That famous homer they always show you where it hit on the top of Yankee Stadium or whatever.
What?
I want to see homers like that.
What if they find
pitchers
out though that it makes people kind of nutty?
I don't care. Then you know what? It's a Bill Hicks bit, but then get rid of rock and roll. The greatest tunes were recorded and written on some
Steroids?
horrific drugs.
Steroids.
But horrific drugs.
There's a song called "Get Out of My Way, Bitch! Get Out of My Way, Bitch!"
Well, there are some drugs.
Great music because of heroin. Great music because of cocaine. Great music because of crystal meth.
Look, heroin.
Great music because of alcohol.
Heroin doesn't make people kill other people unless they don't have money to buy the heroin. Then they'll kill people. Pot. You smoke some pot, you're really not going to get all that violent. But if you're doing crystal meth, you're going to get a little violent. There are different drugs that do different things. I think steroids.
Crystal meth gives you some nice,
Crystal meth makes you insane.
Yeah, but you get some great music out of it.
Want to hurt people. Maybe steroids is like that, where it kind of gets into that part of your brain that makes you a little violent. Roid rage. They got a word for it. Roid rage.
But why should we care if we don't know him personally? I don't care. I don't care.
The wife and kid, it's a little tragic.
Dude, I mean, there's music that was made on LSD and heroin.
It makes you hurl yourself out a window.
Kurt Cobain was he was just a horrific heroin addict, and we got some great music out of him.
Yeah. And then you kill yourself.
If he was happy and he was sober, what kind of music do you think he would have made?
Benoit killed himself. I don't think anybody would care as much as if, he killed his wife and
I'm with Jimmy,
How often does this happen, though, with steroids? Look at booze does, man. This literally, people murder their wives every day. In this country, there's at least one murder a day because of alcohol.
You won't let them have a drink.
Well, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
fix me a drink.
I don't care about the steroids. I don't care what it does to them. If they know what it does and they want to take it, let them.
Yeah.
I could care less. It's not my business.
Yeah, we're kind of hypocritical.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we kind of bury the alcohol thing.
The alcohol's the worst of them all.
The
worst.
I don't hear a lot of steroid-related deaths.
Well, not a lot. Not a lot of people, as compared to people drinking, are doing steroids.
Oh, we kind of allow that to happen for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's been around for years. We even tried getting rid of alcohol. Look what happened. It made something called the mafia.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
We love the mafia.
The violence associated with it is, accepted. The drunk driving deaths, they're trying to have all these laws about this, and it happens every day with alcohol.
Do you understand why? Because drinking is fun.
So
it's
steroids.
Fun for most people.
How great would it be to be muscular and just beat everybody up? I would love that.
Would be.
But doing steroids is fun for some people.
Is it fun?
Doing heroin is fun for some people. Doing crystal meth is fun for some people. The cokeheads out there, they would tell you that's fun.
It's fun for everybody. But
I have changed my tune. I don't care what the performers do.
Yeah.
Nah. If someone in my family's doing it, then it's a different story. Then I care, yeah. Because I'm close to the situation.
You're just localizing yourself.
Yeah.
You're not. It takes a village, Opie. We must care about our neighbors.
Speaking of...
I love when I take the side I really don't give a crap about.
Yeah.
Hey, but what if the violence and... I'd like to make this announcement. I could care less.
Stone Cold's wife says drug abuse and domestic violence are big in the WWE.
What?
Looks like Stone Cold's not going to get a lot of work with Vince in
These
the near future.
Monsters that are perhaps doing steroids are treating their wives improperly? How? Why
But Sam's going to defend that.
Sam?
What's going on, Sam?
Well, I don't know. The WWE just put out a press release that they don't like the sensationalistic coverage of the Chris Benoit thing, and everybody's saying roid rage because
the sensationalism. It's just facts. This guy went on a murder spree.
Yeah, I don't think this has been that bad. This is the same coverage Imus got, which was disgusting. But this is a guy who killed his wife and son, and we're learning things about it. I don't think it's that sensationalistic, actually.
Well,
sensational.
They were just saying that in a press conference, the authorities stated that all drugs found in the house were believed to be legal prescriptions.
Mm-hmm.
I read an article that they said they found steroids.
They said legal
right in the paper
steroids
today, and I believe everything I read in the paper.
They did say prescribed steroids.
Maybe it's a prescribed. I'm just reading off a press release.
Okay.
Steroids were not and could not be related to the cause of death, asphyxiation. Authorities had no factual basis to speculate as to Benoit's state of mind, and rightly did not do so. Toxicology tests.
What did you have for dinner last night?
I had fish sticks and some leftover chicken fingers and microwave French fries.
He never disappoints. Sam?
Do you ever go to the bathroom, or is your whole system clogged?
I go to the bathroom sometimes.
Sometimes.
Wait till your metabolism slows down. You're going to be a fat boy.
He's a skinny guy.
You still got youth on your side,
He's
man.
a skinny young guy. He could eat what he wants.
Just in case.
He just wants to eat like an 8-year-old.
To bring more people on board, yes. We've discovered that Sam's diet is one of an 8-year-old.
You are part of this giant chicken holocaust. That's all you eat. You're like the Adolf Hitler for chickens.
What was dessert?
I had a Good Humor ice cream bar, one of those chocolate with the vanilla ice cream, you know?
Do you eat the chocolate off of it first?
Maybe bite by bite.
You like them soft or hard?
Wow.
You slap the Good Humor bar on your face before you enjoy it? Pretend you're cuffed. There's a Benoit update, too. This is really a creepy bit.
Yeah, that's kind of like really eerie. Kind of adds a little element of mystery into this whole thing. Apparently, I love the gossip. Apparently, on Wikipedia, there was a posting about 13 hours before the police were informed that Benoit's wife and kid were dead, that said that his wife is dead. And it was on Wikipedia before the cops were ever informed or anything. And they checked the IP, and it came from Stamford, Connecticut, which is where WWE is based.
What's that?
And he went there. That's like their headquarters.
What's that?
That's like WWF, only they changed the name because the World Wildlife Federation was going crazy about it. They didn't want the idea that little panda bears were wrestling and choke holding each other. Although I would pay to see that.
Sure.
Cute little animals just beating each other bloody.
Yeah.
But it was on the web, reported 13 hours before police found the bodies, yeah.
So somebody that was involved in the murder just was like, we gotta update his Wikipedia.
Yeah, they're like really quick.
Yeah.
On,
I don't know, should we wait? Nah, because what if somebody looks him up and,
we want him
10
to know
seconds after the murder?
The wife is dead before the cops even do.
Yeah, you don't call the police, you don't tell anyone, you post it on Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Wikipedia,
Got to get the facts straight before you call the police.
Well, everybody wants to be the person that updates the Wikipedia, so.
Yeah.
Well, they
13 hours.
They took it down because there was no confirmation. They're like, you can't just put that the guy's wife is dead without confirmation.
But now they're trying to figure out who at the office there, posted that.
Apparently he was texting people, telling them where the dogs are.
The attack dogs.
The attack dogs, and that
his address
opened, and his address. So he, I guess he kind of knew he was doing this.
I can't get over the fact
he wrapped the cord around his neck and put about 250 pounds of weight on his weight machine, and then let it go.
That's the part that really disturbs me. The whole thing is sick, but the fact that he let 240 or 250 pounds go on his neck.
Yeah.
That is sick.
What do you think he used? The pull down?
Yeah, we figured it had to be the pull down.
Use the pull down.
And let go.
And then what? You tie a rope around it, and then you just let go of it?
Well, you just do the pull down and the cable.
Yeah.
Wrap your neck around that cable and then let go.
What cable? You mean how he hung himself?
Yeah. He used the weight machine.
Oh.
Yeah.
God,
so he put like 240 pounds on. I think he pulled it down and kind of attached something to it, wrapped it to his neck, and then just let it go.
Well, he probably had it attached first. And then like partially around his neck or whatever, and then lowered it down, and then just moved his arms and let it snap him.
I wonder if he was being a jockey ego guy about it, like, I could do 240.
There you go. Let me put the pin down even further.
Yeah, I'll put it down further. I could do 240. That's nothing.
He wanted to choke myself with that.
Mind if I work? If somebody comes up, mind if I work with you? What do you want?
He wanted the investigators to go, wow, at 240.
240.
Wow, look at that.
I'm not some pussy.
You're trying to lift that.
Steroids found in pro wrestler's body. The Chris Benoit story continues.
That story doesn't go away.
And we're learning some things this morning. Investigators said Tuesday they found steroids and other drugs in the body of pro wrestler Chris Benoit. No surprise there, who killed his wife and young son last month before hanging himself in the family's home. Besides steroids, Benoit's body contained the anti-anxiety drug Xanax and the painkiller hydrocodone.
Yeah, painkiller.
According to a statement from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. No alcohol in his blood, by the way. Benoit's wife, Nancy, tested positive for Xanax, hydrocodone, and the painkiller hydromorphone.
Ooh.
The son, Daniel Benoit, who was very young, 7 years old, had Xanax in his system. The GBI said it could not perform tests for steroids or human growth hormones on the son because of a lack of urine in the son's body. But basically they're saying that the kid had a lot of Xanax in his body.
Really?
Way past.
So he was all like...
Way past the suggested amount that an adult should have.
So he was sleepy.
Well, basically he tried to kind of, numb the kid a little bit before he did what he did.
Before he put him in that chokehold. What an awful thing.
Yeah, this doesn't give as much details as the story I was reading in the paper today, but the amount of Xanax in all their bodies was just beyond ridiculous.
Really?
How much they had in them, yeah. So he was trying to numb them up a little bit before he did what he did. So that's the update there.
What's going on? New information on Chris Benoit?
Yeah, they're saying that he needed the steroids.
What?
For some kind of condition he had, yeah.
Ooh.
He needed a lot of steroids for a condition he was fighting.
Grotesque when kids are killed or die. People put the little bunny rabbits up by the wall and...
Really, it's just creepy.
Eerie. Stop. Haunted house. Who's going to move in there now? It's a beautiful house. Probably real dirt cheap now. You wake up and the kid's leaning over your bed, like 2 inches away from you. I'm hungry.
Oh my God.
You keep hearing weights just going clang.
How many people do you think are living in houses right now? And there was some horrific thing that happened back in the day, and they have no idea.
No idea.
No idea, because the realtors aren't going to tell you.
That is always just the creepiest thing to me.
Well, I told you when I was looking for, to buy a place here in Manhattan, I went through this beautiful brownstone early on in the process, and I didn't understand why they were selling. And we went through the whole house, and the mom was very anxious, and she's following us, and she's cleaning up as we go, even though she cleaned up the place ahead of time, but she's just straightening up as we're going along. She wanted this house sold so bad. I'm like, wow, man, they're a bit anxious. And you know the deal when you're dealing with real estate, you don't want to look too anxious.
Yeah.
You're going to get screwed in the deal, right? So we leave, and then the realtor, I'm like, all right, what's the deal? There's obviously something going on. Their 17-year-old son committed suicide in that house. And then I'm like, all right, next house.
Show the black light in his room and just splatters all over the place.
Well, then I was going back over our little tour, and I'm trying to figure out what room it was in, and trying to figure out I'm trying to remember how she was acting in each room, which room it was. Did he do it in one of the bedrooms? Did he decide to be selfish and do it right in the living room?
Yeah.
Did he do it in the shower? I don't know.
What tipped you off? Like the room you walked into when she covered her face and cried and ran into the bathroom? Had to be the room.
This music's too early for our fans.
Very creepy.
This is creepy. People are waking up to this right now.
I had that house that me and my family lived in. Me, my brother, my sister, and my mommy lived in that house in Huntington. And right after we moved out, a guy moved in with his 2 kids. And they came home from school one day. Opened the door, walked in the little foyer that I had walked into many times after I'd gone to school. And the father shot both of his kids in the head and then shot himself. There they were, just bleeding all over my floor, the linoleum that I helped my mommy put in.
And the reason you know this was because it was all over the newspaper and all over TV. And you're looking at pictures of this horrific crime scene, remembering when you had a Christmas tree in that room.
Great times in there. But there are people that live in places, when I was living in an apartment in Brooklyn, it's an old apartment. You got to figure the room you're sleeping in, someone just dropped dead in there. That's why I like new construction. Although the house that they plowed under, who knows what happened in there? Indian burial ground.
Yeah.
Something. They didn't move. They only moved the tombstones. Creepy. If that bother you at all, it would bother the hell out of me.
It would bother me, yeah. I mean, sure. It would be an energy there that I wouldn't like. Well, I wonder what kind of sex people had. Like, what has happened in this bedroom?
See, it always goes to sex with you. Why? Because we think of horrific death, and you think of sex.
Because I'll tell you why. Death may not have occurred in any place you're living in. Sex almost undoubtedly did.
Yeah.
So you wonder what different stuff happened in this room I'm in. Mm-hmm. Was it kinky? Was it loving? Was it awful? Was it,
baby.
But you know what happened.
That's better. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Well, hotel rooms are great for that, too. You just never know what happened in a hotel room. Dirty. Ugh. I don't like the idea of using the remote and then, like, grabbing a handful of the grapes that are there on the fruit plate, and you're like, oh, the remote. Because you know after you have sex, and
that's the first thing you grab.
You grab the remote. I know. And
how to turn on ESPN.
Not even the first thing that you grab. The first thing you grab is usually either the sheet or some tissues. You know? It's just kind of, what's the matter, Jimmy?
Tissues.
You don't...
Now they stick.
No, I'm not talking about really to clean that up. I'm just like, to maybe something got everywhere.
Okay.
Maybe something just an explosion.
Save yourself a cleaning bill.
Yeah, and just so you don't have to, you get it back into bed and go, and then those go flying on the floor because someone else has got to pick them up. I don't care.
Yeah, but you don't.
But then you grab the remote and maybe there's something on your hands.
You don't feel the weird energy when you go through a house and wonder about what kind of sex was done in that place.
That's true.
I feel weird. I definitely feel weird energy in houses. Absolutely.
I never had that feeling.
And, obviously, old houses in particular. And you would say, well, old houses are creepy to begin with, and that's why you feel the energy. I don't feel it in every old house. No, but I definitely feel things in certain houses. I'm like, let's get the F out of here.
I didn't look at that many. Like, when I looked for my place, it was just a few places I looked in, and I didn't really get any weird vibes in any of them.
No, same thing with houses. I didn't get weird vibes. I got this place sucks.
Yeah.
No, there was a place on Riverside Drive, very old building that they redid completely. And I walked through that place, and I was like, no way are we living here. And it was beautiful, but I got a vibe in that joint. And then they told me that, the building's at least 150 years old.
And a lot of stuff happened there.
They redid the whole thing, and I swear to you, I felt an energy that I was like, ugh.
Probably some whoopings given in that place.
It was just creepy. I just got, the hair was standing up on my arms and stuff. Yeah, there was something going on there. My brother, lived in a haunted house. He swears to it. Back up there in White Plains, he swears by it. Faucets going on in the middle of the night, doors slamming, all sorts of crazy crap.
Isn't this very, it's easy to confirm? How come people I was haunted? Only me. If they were real, I love these paranormal jackasses that go into these places with all kinds of machinery and don't find anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. But, I mean, when you're living in that situation, you have no doubt in your mind,
Yeah, but then why wouldn't you just run video all the time?
Well, maybe it doesn't get picked up by the video.
Oh, stop.
That's what I
Camera shy ghosts.
Maybe ghosts. Maybe they're union actors.
Yeah.
You think, why do ghosts have
to be paid?
Why do you have to see ghosts? Just because that's how it's portrayed in movies?
No, but you would see some kind of weird activity happening. There was something that was the creepiest damn thing, and it was obviously some kind of gimmick, but it was when webcams first really getting popular, and a lot of people were just going on the chick webcams, the college webcams, things like that. But there was one, it was a haunted house cam. And all the cameras were black and white, and you could go to various rooms in the house and just look at down the hallways. And then they had the basement and the crawl space was one of them. And it's a lot of people have reported seeing a white see-through figure moving at the end of this hallway. And you'd look at it, and I'm like, I can't look at this, because if I see something, I'm going to drop dead. I just cannot take anything like that. Creepy cameras. You're switching around to different rooms. This room was, used as a nursery, and the baby died, and there's all kinds of weird stories in there, and I just could not look at these cameras.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. Let's say hi to Joe in Rockland County. Joe, what's up?
Good morning, boys.
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. I got kind of a funny story. I work for Con Edison down in the city, and we're in basements and people's houses every day. And you would be amazed at the sound and the energy you feel in some of these homes. I totally agree with all.
Yeah.
You go in somebody's houses, and it's just like you go in these dark, dingy basements, and you see like shadowy things and noises. You pray it's just a rat, because God forbid you see something, it's like, you're out of there. You know.
Look, I don't know what it is, but I definitely feel an energy in some houses.
Yeah.
When I go through them, I know that. I don't know what it could be. Maybe there's too much electricity being pumped through the house because it's old. I don't know. I don't know what it could be, but I definitely feel creepy feelings in certain houses. Yeah,
mine's just scary. This fear.
I agree with you. It's scary.
All right,
mine's
thanks,
just
Joe.
fear. I'm a baby when it comes to things like that. I was doing a job once at this huge, old estate. Had to be 180 years old, and they were renovating it and turning it into a country club somewhere on the North Shore of Long Island. And we were the first ones in to pull out old radiators and copper piping and things like that. And it was just me and two other guys on our crew and this huge place. So we went exploring around the place. And it was four stories with these spiral staircases and huge stairs and big rooms with fireplaces in them. It was just a beautiful estate, but it was abandoned for so long that you'd open up these rooms and wonder what happened in them over the years. And just getting there early in the morning where it was still kind of dark and you're just there with your flashlight. Oh, so scary. So goddamn scary. Just because if I saw anything, that's it. And I'd be walking just going, please don't see anything. Don't see anything because you'll go crazy. They'll just lock you up in an institution. If I saw something like that, just put me in the mental ward because I'd just be freaking out.
And why are we so scared? Like a ghost, you're not going to lose a fight against a ghost.
How do you know?
The ghost is going to punch right through you.
And you don't want to see this. You don't want to see like, here it is. I'd be like, what? What is it? Oh, what was that? Anthony, come with us. Walk into the fireplace. No! I would freak out.
But see, the ghost can't kill you.
He can with fear.
Keep you up all night, too, rattling, causing a ruckus.
A ruckus, I'm trying to sleep.
What a ghost would do is every time it piped up, you went, would you shut up? And just got really... You weren't afraid of it, you just hated it.
All right.
Right already, I heard, boo, I get it.
that would be funny. It would probably really piss the ghost off. This guy's unscarable.
Just turn a really big fan on because it can't hold its form.
Then it would just blow away.
Now what are you going to do?
Fans.
Now what are you going to do without those bones and skin?
Being haunted by fog?
Right. Chris, what's up?
Hey, I wanted to tell you, I had worked for a demolition company in Brooklyn. We were in charge of opening up walls so the asbestos crew could get in, and it was in an abandoned building in Kingsborough Psychiatric. So every day we would come in because there was no power in the building. They shut it all off. And there would be one outlet that we could find way down in the mechanical space. And we would hook it up, two clips, hook it up, and pretty much do most of the work from this one freaking outlet. We would come in the next day, and the outlet would be the wires from the outlet would be carefully removed and laid on the floor, and the two wire nuts laid right next to it. So every time we hooked it up in the morning, we would come back in the evening. We would come back the next morning, and the thing would be completely disconnected.
It was probably the job super, so a fire wouldn't start.
Or some just meddling kids.
Unbelievable.
Right.
And that's not really a good ghost story, though, that it actually helped in fire safety and helped put the tools away. I came back, my truck was washed.
I was horrified.
All right, Chris, thank you. Yeah, but Chris is convinced something was going on. What can I tell you? Chris Benoit.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I guess they just released some of the voicemails that the family got, like that he left.
Why would they
and that were
release
left-
this to the public?
Some news story that I was watching, like this reporter was complaining about how it had taken months for him to get this under the Freedom of Information Act. Like it was, like he was in debt. You know, somebody was in debt to him to give up these voicemails. But there's one from Benoit. It's like before he did anything, he's just saying "I love you," and the rest are from like.
These are the last messages, basically, though.
Yeah,
They
I
left
think
for his family?
that's the last.
All right, Chris calls his wife and kid.
Yeah.
Hi, honey. Hi, Dan. Sorry, missed you. I'll turn this up. Love you. Bye.
Okay.
Wow. Chilling.
But then
fucking heart stopping.
Chilling.
And then Chris's son leaves a
Shitty.
message.
This is really
for
creepy.
him.
Hi, Boo Bear. We'll be back soon, okay? We'll just be there, okay? Hey, Pooh Bear. Hey, Pooh Bear.
What's wrong with you, dude? What the fuck is wrong? Anthony.
I
Seriously.
leaned on the machine by accident.
There's something so fucking wrong with
I
you, man.
leaned on the machine with my elbow by accident, and it hit a button.
Dude, there's a fucking line, dude.
I don't even know what it hit. What was that? I didn't hear it.
Listen to me, dude. There's a fucking. You talk about the chick and the fucking husband fucking the mom. Put Sam on my lap. Put the fag on. Fucking with the little kid blowing the guy, the fat Dutch head. But that's too far, dude. You can't make the fucking splat sound. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Okay.
Besides, you went over the audio. Can we listen
All right,
to this
play it
again?
back then.
Hi, Boo Bear. We'll be back soon, okay? We'll just be there, okay? Hey, Pooh Bear.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, Pooh Bear.
Jesus. Guys, this is fun. I can't even. I mean, this is stupid.
It's not in good taste.
Problem?
Do you understand?
Problem.
This is fucking not like I don't. It's a fucking little. This is not fucking right. Dude, look at me. Do you know what comma is, motherfucker? You're gonna be doing 150 on a shitty Long Island road with Keith the Cop, and you're fucking with karma like this?
Commas? Why?
Karma.
Comma. Yeah.
Fucking comma. Yeah, he's gonna be doing sentences.
An apostrophe or nothing for me.
What's wrong with you?
Sometimes I'm a bad boy.
Yeah. Dude, this is just fucking. Dude, that's a little kid.
I know. It really is tragic, and I have to do that to cover up for how bad I feel about listening to it.
Yeah.
I have to make fun, because if I listen to it, I'll probably cry.
Yeah?
Fuck no.
You're gonna be okay.
I fucking left my emotions somewhere way down the line years ago.
In Mexico?
Every emotion just gone.
You got nothing?
I'm like a fucking Terminator now. I just don't.
just
I can't be reasoned to or bargained with.
You melt and form into other people.
It.
Chris's wife's friend leaves a message for her.
Hi Nancy, it's Marnie in Canada. Just phoning to see if everything's okay. Heard terrible reports on the radio, so just calling to confirm. So hopefully we can talk to you soon.
Wait, she's confirming the deaths?
Yes.
All right, wait. There's a whole different thing going on now.
So this chick just read in the
What?
paper.
She reads in the paper that he may have killed his entire family. So this dumb broad calls.
Hi, are you dead?
Calls
Yes,
her
she calls
to
pretty
try
much
to
what it
confirm
is.
this.
Hi.
Listen, knowing
Find out if you're dead.
she just read.
You know how fucking just fucked up on so many levels this is?
She just read the tragedy.
And you're creating a fucking an army of detached assholes. Look at these fucking assholes. They're just detached from anything fucking civil.
Bobby gets so emotional.
They're really on just a bench, like a fucking dirty softball team, waiting not to have any feelings in life. Ugh. Fucking Christ.
You all right, Bobby? You too far?
No, this is just fucking ridiculous.
Well, it's ridiculous that this lady read or saw it this tragedy, and then had to call her friend to confirm if she's still alive.
And that dumb Canadian voice, too. Hello, I'm there.
Listen again, really.
Hi, Nancy. It's Marnie in Canada. Just phoning to see if everything's okay, because we've heard terrible reports on the radio, so just calling to confirm. So hopefully we can talk to you soon. Bye.
We're just calling to confirm that you're dead.
That you're dead.
Hopefully we can talk to you soon.
Your reservation for the rent-a-car is Thursday. We just
got some terrible reports here of your death.
You know what I hate about Canadians, too?
If you're dead, please call back.
Canadians always have to say Canada in every sentence.
Yeah.
It's just us from Canada.
From
no
Canada.
shit. I can hear your shitty accent. Fucking...
What's all this death stuff about? I hear you're all dead in your hoose.
Well, it's wintertime. We just got a moose. We're going to send some moose pudding lip down.
Who the fuck does that?
She sounded too was like, look, I'm very nervous and scared. We're getting please pick up, please.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Well, if you're dead, then I won't talk to you. But if you're alive, please call.
That Vince McMahon, he's crazy. This bit is going a little too far.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, they probably thought it was a
Maybe
bit.
they thought it was a fucking,
Yeah. They
a
probably thought
work,
it was a bit.
as they say in the business. A work.
Is that what they call it?
That is what they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm watching wrestling to try to find out if it's real or fake. She had no worry in her voice.
Bobby's got to tell.
What's that?
Speaking of wrestling, you got to tell.
What's the tell?
It's you lower your voice when you want to fuck like Sam and other people.
What?
You want to fuck him?
Yes, he does. No, but Sam knows. When you get horned up, you're all saying like,
he goes from
First of all, let me tell you something. I had a big fight with my wife about this too, because she got mad at me that I don't get horned up anymore. Nothing gets my dick hard. I told him, I was like, listen, you don't make my dick hard. You have to.
Oh, that's great.
No, this is what I said. Hear me out. And I know a lot of guys are going to relate to this. I'm going to go. I said my dick doesn't get hard for you. You have to make it hard. It doesn't pop up because you come out of the shower. Oh my God, a naked woman. Fuck that. It's like an old dog. You have to come over, rub its belly, give it a treat.
Shit. Oh, you're talking about your dick.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't just... Because what happens, seriously, honest to God, girls get mad that, you're lying in bed and your dick just doesn't... Oh, my God, I'm in bed with my wife and my dick isn't... Oh, my God. And she's like, I wanted to have sex last night. Well, then why don't you touch my dick? That's the only way we're going to fuck, is if you grab my dick, suck it, lick it, flap it, tease it, whatever.
Sammy's talking to you.
Get it hard. Look at me, Sam. Look at my...
See how the voice goes?
Yeah. Sam, look at me.
Sam, I want you to do me a favor. Zip that up and put it over your head.
No. I'm not doing anything to fulfill
I want
these,
you to listen, I want you to get a basket, and I want you to put that hood on, and I want you to walk around the forest of Central Park. and I'm the big bad wolf. Yo, little Yellow Riding Hood. That's what I want.
You never explained... Remember when we did the Comedy Central pilot?
Yep.
Why'd you kiss me on the mouth?
Because look at that mouth.
You kissed him
look
on
at that.
the mouth?
You did kiss them on the mouth.
You got no upper
What?
lip.
Yeah, but why did you kiss him? Why?
You look like a little baby lion cub.
You made Sam kiss homeless guys, and then you kissed him.
There was no reason for you to kiss me. It had nothing to do with what we were doing.
You know what sucked about that? I was kidding. I was actually, when I did that, I was like fucking around, but you didn't pull away from me.
You grabbed my skull!
But I didn't grab it with fucking like a
with
clamp.
2 hands!
Well, I'm not a fucking... I didn't hold you there.
You did. That's what you're doing with your hands.
Well, you didn't have to close your eyes and pick up your leg, faggot. This isn't Happy
Look,
Days.
you're not going to turn this around and say I'm gay because you grabbed my head and kissed me on the mouth.
I've had a hard life. Whatever I do isn't gay.
Yeah,
what
I
you
want to
do,
kiss
you
more
have choices. You have choices, son. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't have a choice.
I'm trying to help you make choices in life.
You've had a hard life, Bobby?
Yeah, we've all had a hard life.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
What are you gonna do? Everybody at this table's a fucking piece of shit that's been tossed around.
What are you going to do?
Refuse.
Oh, we are. We're just a bunch of fucking...
Why did Otto take his mic screen off?
Oh, it smelled too much like that furniture Febreze shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was getting dizzy. Yeah.
He's huffing.
What a mess.
Stunk.
That fucking lady called to see if her friend was dead. Holy shit. That's amazing.
What a cunt.
When you were taking the steroids, they talk about roid rage. Excuse me. Did you feel any of that? Did you feel differently psychologically?
No. Not really. I was not too heavy into them. I mean, I took them, I thought, fairly, practically.
Because it leads to the Chris Benoit situation. A lot of people said he had the roid rage.
Well, he might have had some roid rage. I mean, I don't doubt that steroids could have been a contributing factor, but I don't never believe for a second that they were the deciding factor in that.
Yeah, we've talked to a lot of you guys since that happened, and they're all just shocked that he would ever do anything like that.
Chris was one of the nicest guys you could ever meet. He was kind of one of those guys that for the whole time I ever knew him, he'd walk a little old lady across the street kind of guy. And he was a nice guy that I think you got to look at more at judge him by that kind of part of his character.
What do you think happened? You think there's rumors he might have had like some kind of seizure or something going on in his head that was undetected, that just...
I think he had... I think that if you look close, as they have, I think you'll find that it was probably related to all those head injuries that he had. I heard his brain was like mush at the end. Like it was just, he had the brain of a 90-year-old Alzheimer kind of guy. He was, I think, pretty fuzzy in the head. And I know from my own circumstance with concussions that you can have a concussion as bad as I did, and I had a really bad one. And I still have lingering effects from that. And when you have a concussion, you can still, I can remember Vince McMahon talking about how he used to try, he could catch airplanes, he could rent his car, he could drive to the building. And it's like, how messed up is this guy? It's like, well, I was like a robot. I was like a robot for 2 years. And I could do everything. I could have a conversation like I am with you guys right now. As a matter of fact, I think I was doing a book tour back then and doing a lot of media and all this stuff. I don't remember any of it. It was all just a blur,
Damn.
So people don't know. They think, oh, he's fine. I just talked to him.
Yeah.
You can talk. You just can't remember anything he said. I wouldn't remember anything that I talked to you about.
Like being in a blackout, an alcoholic blackout.
Yeah.
Wow.
Probably. And I think Chris, I don't know exactly what the circumstances were, but I think my gut feeling tells me that he was in a situation where he was getting pressured, or a lot of pressure put on him by his wife to be home more. And at the same time, I think he was getting a lot of pressure from the wrestling company to say, look, if you want to be one of the top guys, we need you on the road more. So he's in this horrible tug of war with his wife and the business. And I think in the end, that was maybe what, it just drove him off the deep end. Maybe he came home and they had a fight or something. I don't know.
He just snapped. Wow.
It's just so much tragedy in wrestling.
Yeah.
It really is odd because it's such a entertaining, a fun thing to watch.
It's a cartoon world,
and then on the outside, but then you tear away just a little bit of that curtain, and it's just full of tragedy, just unbelievable.
Did you watch the Hogan's reality show? Did you like that show, or did you think it was just all crap?
I used to watch a little bit, but it was nothing good. A lot of divorce, wife, this, that. Hulk Hogan can be a nice guy, or he can be the phoniest faggot in the world.
All right, I'm gonna go serious for a moment. I heard, and I'm not goofing on this, that you got really sad talking about Chris Benoit.
I'll be honest with you. I saw him last time, what it called? Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And he come to me. He said, Shiki Baba, I live Fayetteville, Georgia. I said, I live Fayetteville, Georgia 45 years. And he said, I'm alone and I miss the friend. Come see me. I said, no problem. That was the last time I see Chris Benoit. He's a Canadian, I'm Iranian or American, whatever. So, but Chris Benoit killed himself one thing, but he killed his baby, 7 years old, give the baby, shot at that car, and kill the baby, killed his wife. I don't think she did a good thing. That's
not
very
a really
bad
good thing.
I'm right?
Yeah, very
that's,
bad. Very bad, yes.
God bless you.
I think we could all look at that and say it was bad.
Yeah. That was a very bad. The man, if he had the balls, he want to kill himself one thing. But if he killed the little baby 7 years old,
that's crazy.
That's a little bit cheap heat. Because that's a cheap heat. See, I get my head on the ring before I do anything foolish. And I steal the show. But Chris Benoit, young man, little guy, he want to be a big guy like Aaron Sheik. He didn't make it.
Right.
Well, I hear you.
Yeah.
Wow. More Sergeant Slaughter in there. Wow, we were just watching clips, and then Iron Sheik. Amazing.
I clicked
What
on
a
the
day.
wrong-
What a day.
Exactly. What a day.
What a day.
What a day.
Anthony, Opie, baby. What a day. Exactly.
Fantastic day.
Who got a birthday wish today?
Young Danny Benoit.
Oh, that's very nice. I'm sure Danny Benoit would appreciate a birthday announcement on this fucking wintry day.
Yeah, he'd be sitting
That's
there
nice.
watching because his family probably that sent it in probably went like, "Oh, why don't you watch this?" And he's like, "Why am I watching the news?" He's like, "Don't worry, just sit and watch."
Here's the problem. Danny Benoit, based on the picture they showed, is actually Daniel Benoit, the son of former pro wrestler Chris Benoit, who murdered his wife and child before committing suicide.
This is one of the children that made it. So he's probably depressed today that he doesn't have a father and a mother and a sibling. So there he is at home and getting a little sunshine.
Daniel Benoit was choked to death by his father, Chris Benoit.
But that doesn't make sense. Then why would there be a birthday announcement for him, Sam?
I think it's a hoax.
A hoax.
A hoax?
I think it's a fugazi. It's a fugazi.
Fucking
no, this is terrible.
Well, let's take a listen to this.
Yes. Okay, this is an I-9 moment.
Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Strap in.
Happy 10th birthday to Danny Benoit. He likes to play Xbox, lacrosse, and just talk on the phone. Happy birthday, Danny, from your wrestling chums, Vinny, Christopher, Eric, Sam, Greg, Tony, and Uncle Paul.
And if you'd like to see your champion on our...
Oh my God!
He can't do any of those things, Sam, because he's dead.
He was also...
he likes to talk on the phone.
Why talk on the phone? That's a weird one.
No, he was choked.
He was choked
with a phone cord.
The phone cord.
Yep.
Yes.
That's it. By his father, professional wrestler Chris Benoit.
This could be the worst one I've ever heard. This is the worst one I've ever heard.
You mentioned Benoit there.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't write a book without mentioning it. And that's the thing about this book that's different from the first one. There are a lot of, it's a little bit of an emotional roller coaster, and there's some really heavy, deep things to talk about. But especially in the Benoit situation, it was so cool for me to, not cool, but cathartic, I guess is the word, to write about this and get it out of my system to put on the printed page. So now I don't ever really have to talk about it. If you want to know my thoughts and issues, you can just read about it. And
were you guys close?
He was my best friend in wrestling. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, absolutely. Beyond. So that's why, I mean, I had to deal with this.
I just want to ask one. Did you see him changing? Did you see any?
Well, I talk about it in the book. You saw him changing a lot after Eddie Guerrero died, because Eddie was his best friend. And, but he was a great guy, very polite, very positive, like a mentor at first, and then became a very good friend. But he was a strange guy. Like, especially when you look back, and that's kind of what I talk about a lot. Certain things that happened years before would be like he wouldn't laugh at something that was like the funniest bit you'd ever seen. I don't know, Dumb and Dumber or something ridiculous like that. And if you played that for him, he would just sit there and kind of like go, nothing. And don't you think this is funny? Oh, it's funny. I'm laughing inside. That type of thing. And then if somebody threw up on the street, he would find that the funniest thing. So that type of a guy, Right. So, and like I said, it's interesting to kind of separate this guy that I knew for 15, 16, 18 years from the guy in the last 2 or 3 days of his life. I mean, it's a very strange, talking about it, and you want to laugh and stuff, but then there's always this black cloud hanging over it. But I think I tried to explain to people that didn't know that he was, he was a human being. He was, he wasn't just some kind of a crazy maniac monster. He was a great guy, loved his family, loved his kids. I would have left my kids with him and had no problems, no reservations, more than almost anybody else, in the world. I would have left them with him. So, that's why to be able to write about it and kind of dig into it a bit was very, like I said, very cathartic for me, and I'm glad I was able to do that.
You guys are almost like fucking like soldiers on a battlefield, because a lot of wrestlers have died, and at much younger ages than they're supposed to. How do you deal with stuff like that? Because it is almost like you would get
post-traumatic stress from some of this stuff.
You certainly
Just
know
a
a
lot of your buddies dying like that.
you know a lot of them pretty
man.
well that have passed.
I mean, like I said, Eddie was a great friend of mine too, and that his death is in there too. It's what the worst part of it is. It really desensitizes you. I mean, in my first book, I wrote about this guy called Art Barr that passed away. He was a friend of mine that I worked with in Mexico, and that was the first guy that I'd ever knew that had died, of drugs. Since then, I could probably tell you, and this is not a joke, probably 40 guys and girls that I was friends with or knew or was best friends with in some cases that have passed away.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, it is.
40,
it's crazy. But you become. It's like, oh, you hear so and so died. It's like, well, I saw that coming. Or, well,
and again, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like if you hear soldiers talk about going out. And the first time one of their buddies gets it or something, they're freaking out. And then after a full tour or 2 tours, it becomes like, you almost become like, I don't want to be friends with anybody because
you don't want to get too attached.
Yeah.
The good thing is that the business has changed now, so it's really, I mean, it's almost, if you're like, I kind of came in right in between old and new, so I had that crazy side, but never got into the real serious stuff.
Yeah.
But now guys they play video games and Guitar Hero, and they don't do anything, and it's like, you guys are really lame now. But it's
you swung to the really lame.
Exactly.
Was it the schedule you guys had to keep?
I just think it's just the way it was. If you look at guys in the 80s, or even rock bands, 70s, 80s, they're all crazy. 90s bands now aren't
doing the same thing
as crazy.
We talk about that because we've been around long enough now where we were backstage seeing all these bands partying and like just out of their minds, and now they're like, juicing, literally juicing carrots and fucking apple juice and having a salad, and it's like, who are these guys? They're supposed to be rock stars.
But Zach and I, when we first met, it was nuts. I mean, we used to get loaded and then go play pedestrian chicken, where you would lie in the middle of the street in in downtown Manhattan at like 4 a.m. and just lie there. And it's like, well, nobody's going to run you over, and just see if cars would come. Like, you'd be that fucking loaded where you're just going to lie in the street. I dare someone to run me over. Like, that's smart, right? Now, a couple times we've hung out, we're drinking tea, and it's like, Zach's totally straight now, and so you don't want to drink in front of him. And as you move on in life, if you're lucky enough to get past that stuff and still be alive, you have to kind of really appreciate that and not fuck around with it.
How many great songs were almost not written? Because how many fucking riffs would have been missed?
Right. Pedestrian chicken.
One shitty cab could have ended a lot of great riffs without it depressing.